Hey y'all, we're going to talk today about Phoebe Bridgers' song, I Know the End, and analyze it through David Huron's ITPRA model. So the ITPRA model uses imagination, the I, imagining the outcome of a musical phrase as you're listening. The T, tension, which is the rising anticipation and uncertainty as the song starts to build up or the phrase starts to build up. P, prediction, is the expectation-related emotion based on whether or not your original prediction was met. And you have two different kinds of responses. So there's the reaction response, which is this immediate, unconscious, reflexive response that happens right away. Then, as the dust settles, we have A, appraisal, which is the more conscious response of whatever you just heard. So we're going to talk about Phoebe Bridgers' song, I Know the End, in three main parts. Part one, so we're calling I Know. Part two, the end. And then part three, in part one, we are going to be just C sharp major and F sharp major. That somewhere in Germany, but I can't place it.
Man, I hate this part of Texas. Close my eyes, fantasize. 3 clicks and I'm home. When I get back, I'll lay around, then I'll get up and lay back down. Romanticize a quiet life. There's no place like my room.
We're in C sharp major, just back and forth between the 1 chord, the 4 chord. There's virtually no tension, just this calm, predictable foundation. Then as we get to the chorus, we start to add a few other chords within the song. We have A sharp minor, G sharp, D sharp minor, in addition to the C sharp and F sharp. These chords start to add some tension, but still come to a predictable and satisfying reaction and appraisal, at least in my experience with it.
But you had to go. I know. Like a wave that crashed and melted on the shore. Not even the burnouts are out here anymore. And you had to go. I know.
Yeah, notice the simplicity, slightly unusual chords in the chorus, but overall, nice, satisfying pattern. So in part two, the end section, all of a sudden, things kind of change a little bit. We go from starting on that just 1, 4, 1, 4, like in the first part of the song, to all of a sudden we have this 2, 4, 1, 5 chord pattern, starting with D sharp minor, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. So throughout this whole part two, we have this constant ending on the dominant chord, this constant half cadence thing happening at every single phrase. So it's kind of a constant tension, but at the same time, it's predictable because it's the exact same chord structure all the way through part two.
Driving out into the sun, let the ultraviolet cover me up. Went looking for a creation myth, ended up with a pair of cracked lips. Windows down, scream along to some America First rap country song. A slaughterhouse, an outlet mall, slot machines, fear of God.
So how does this change our feelings and our cognition? Suddenly we have new things to imagine. Like I said, there's more tension with this constant half cadence happening. And as it goes on and on and on, notice how there's a gradual change in timbre, this constant buildup of tension all the way to the third part of the song, which I call
Afraid to disappear. The billboard said the end is near. I turned around, there was nothing there. Yeah, I guess the end is here. The end is here.
everything's just going absolutely crazy in this part. We have screaming, we have trumpets, we have just this cacophony of sound. Using Huron's example, if tension is something like a person coming up to you with a balloon and a needle going closer and closer and closer, like you think it's gonna pop, I feel like with this section, the transition from part 2 to part 3, it's as if suddenly, as opposed to just popping the one balloon, it's like 1,000 balloons suddenly appear and explode, which was not my prediction. Yeah, my prediction was not met, and it was slightly startling at first, which is my reaction, my reactive part of ITPRA, but it was actually so much cooler than I imagined it could be. So the appraisal, that actually is an example of contrastive valiance. So even though my prediction wasn't met, I didn't feel disappointed. My prediction was not met, and I felt positively amazed when this transition happened. So there's so many things that play into this song beyond ITPRA. I feel like there's the cathartic aspect. There's even a little bit of humor at the end. The very end of the song, she ends with these like fake audience screams of that, like imitating that. You hear her kind of like laughing and coughing as she's doing that at the end there. But that's not what this video is about. That's for another day. In summary, the music first gave the listeners calmness, perhaps even boredom, through that predictability of just that C sharp major, F sharp major, back and forth, back and forth. Throughout the song, and then starting with the first chorus, before part 2 even starts, a little bit of interest is built, a little bit of anxiety might even come in with some of these different chords. Throughout part 2, that tension of unpredictability and anticipation just kind of increases gradually, but all in all still has a structure, still has a predictable payoff all the way through the chorus of part 1, which only increases in part 2. Then, as it leads up to the unpredicted final third of the song, you think you might know where the song is going, but chances are all that cacophony in part 3 was different than expected. Like the first time I heard this, I had a total like, holy reaction. And as I gave it time to lead to appraisal, I felt this like post-cathartic satisfaction. I wanted to listen to it again and again and again, even though I knew what was coming. I still got goosebumps every time. So that is my ITPRA analysis of Phoebe Bridgers' I Know the End. Thanks so much.